All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Left Wing Live. John, how you doing today, my man?
Doing good. I've already seen the title of this episode, and I am prepared to talk about some high-level marketing techniques as a marketing professional myself, TJ.
Oh, so I got to get your opinion on this as someone in the field and everything. I so the title I think was Donald Trump. What did I say? Donald Trump
Continues to fleece gullible racists, and we love him for
We
it.
love him for it, folks. Look, I'm not mad at Trump at all. Every time I see him come out and hawk, a Trump $2 bill, a Trump teddy bear, a Trump gold coin, a Trump fake credit card, a Trump Bible, I just sit back and applaud, man. I got to recognize the game in that, because if you have people dumb enough to continue buying your shit and you're going to get basically free money, why not? And I can't think of a better group of people to take it from, fuck them.
Exactly. It's just like, I don't wish for these things to be done to people, but if they're going to be done to people, it might as well be people who deserve it. And if you want to spend your well-earned money on a Trump, what are they, trading cards this time? What is the newest shtick from Donald Trump?
Yeah, it's trading cards again. This is his third time doing this, I think.
It's crazy. Like, if people want to go do that, fine, go do that. The question I have is for the people who don't want to do that and recognize how much of it's not even a scam, TJ. Like,
it's not a scam.
Donald Trump is a man who has done many scams. This is not a scam. This is, hey, you want something with my face on it? Here you go. Give me money. It's dumb, but it's not a scam. It's honest commerce.
I think it might be. I have a slight theory that this might be a bit of a scam. I just like the faintest hint of a scam. And we should tell people what we're talking about. So hold on, let's see if the commercial will play. Honestly, while we're at this here, let's see. All right, I was very happy to see this commercial. Man, was it last night or this morning? I can't remember. But Donald Trump.
I saw it yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday, yeah, Donald Trump. This is his third time, I believe, doing this. But let me know if you can hear this, John.
Nope.
Damn it. What is I don't know what I gotta talk to the StreamYard people about what constitutes sharing screen and how it will work. Let me see. Let me try another one here. Nope, entire screen will I'll give it one more shot. That's really disappointing.
While we wait, Daniel says that we need a GoFundMe. I want the collar part of his suit on my card.
All right, let me know if you can hear this.
Still no. Technical difficulties, people. Don't you love them?
I don't know what's going on. Like, what causes something to play and not? Because, well, anyway, Donald Trump is at it again, and he's selling digital trading cards, and they're NFTs. And I have to say, John, I don't understand NFTs still. I've seen people try to explain them to me. I don't understand how they have any actual value, or I don't even get crypto. I try to get that too. And I know that it's unique. Like, it's the only thing that exists, like, with that code or whatever that you own, but it only has value if someone else will take it. And why would they? I just don't get it. I don't understand that. But anyway, it's an NFT, but it's really it's a picture of Donald Trump as Captain America, or Donald Trump as an astronaut, or Donald Trump as a cowboy, or whatever. And I think that it's $99.99 for one of these images. Like, you can screenshot and keep for yourself. And if you order 15 of them, he will send you a physical trading card, like an actual trading card with Donald Trump's picture on it, along with a cutout piece of the suit he wore when he debated Joe Biden. And for the low price of $1,500, you can get a card with a piece of the suit that he wore. And the reason I say that I think that it might be a bit scammy is not that it's nothing illegal about selling these NFTs or selling the card. I think that it's a way he launders campaign funds from people who've maxed out. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because you can create these cards infinitely. They cost you $0.00. And if you have some donor who wants to give individual amounts of money to Trump over is it $3,500 or $7,000? I can't remember which is which. And but if they maxed out on it, buy a shitload of trading cards. It's not a campaign donation anymore. You just give it straight to Trump. That's my like wild theory.
That probably is it, that it counts as a separate financial.
Yeah, it's just a regular
income.
transaction at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the reason he does it. Although, I mean, part of me just wants to believe that like this man's a huckster. He's a shyster. He just lives for this stuff.
He'd be doing this if he wasn't running for president. He'd be selling these shitty trading cards. Yeah,
exactly. So like, I honestly like, I don't even know if there's like a strategic value in this other than someone's like, yo, Donald, you want to sell these? And it also like makes him feel good about himself. It's a real double whammy for things Trump likes to do. So I do think that he would be doing it whether the presidential campaign exists or not. I did want to talk about, because you're like, I don't get NFTs.
I don't.
And so crypto, and I'm no expert. Crypto has functional value. Like there are arguments to be made for the existence of cryptocurrency, that it is functionally different from normal currency. In order to understand NFTs, TJ, you first have to go back to 1634.
Here we go.
For the Dutch tulip bubble. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes,
TJ?
Yeah, I'm aware of the tulip craze, and like tulips became worth more than gold.
Exactly. In 1934, the Dutch were just the economic powerhouse of the world. They were buying tulips, and they became the first known speculative bubble. The tulips were worthless. They were just flowers, but people thought they had value, and so certain people, wealthy people in Deutschland. What is even the Dutch? Is the Dutch the Netherlands?
The Dutch is the Netherlands. Yeah, Germany.
Okay, I've always got, because but like Deutschland, that's Germany.
Like Deutschland should be the Dutch.
Exactly, right. But they basically just pumped and dumped this. They're like, hey guys, if you buy tulips now, they're going to be more expensive. They're going to be more expensive later on. You can sell them, and this created the first speculative bubble in history where a tulip was worth more than gold. And it obviously collapsed like all speculative bubbles do. And that's exactly what NFTs are. There's absolutely no difference between the Dutch tulips and the NFTs. It's a speculative investment that doesn't actually carry any value whatsoever. It's just a fancy thing with the blockchain that people get obsessed with for whatever reason. And it's over now. Like we are in the tail end of the bubble. It's dead. It's gone forever. They're not coming back. Like the only people buying NFTs now are just old people who want to buy a thing with Trump's face on it, and they're like, "Ooh!" And an NFT makes me feel young because I'm tech savvy.
Well, so I like with me, where I get confused is for the crypto specifically, unless that's a different category as NFTs. It's the same. They're both blockchain, right?
They're both blockchain. Yeah.
So. Yeah. Where this is what people tuned in for.
Watch two guys who barely understand blockchain discuss what blockchain is.
So this is where I get confused. So the tulip had some value, like intrinsic value, like it's a flower, like it's pretty, and people want to own flowers. I got that, and so because nothing has like intrinsic value, I guess it's whatever you assign to it. But crypto isn't like that. It's a currency. And that's the part where it falls apart to me, because you can use it to buy stuff like drugs on the dark web or something like that. But like, why? Like, why would you do that? I don't understand that part, because you're trading it for something, but the thing you're trading doesn't have like any recognized value outside of whoever wants to take this. It's not like the US dollar. Like the US dollar is going to have value because it's fiat, because the government says so. But you create your own, TJ bucks or whatever, and that's going to have value with whoever will accept that. And that's where it seems to fall apart to me. I don't understand.
And you've wandered into the very, very fun world of the competing interests of cryptocurrency, because the main argument for cryptocurrency is it's a decentralized economic system. You get money out of the hands of the government. The amount of crypto there is the amount that will always exist. You can't print more Bitcoin. And it's just divvied up and sold more. And as one Bitcoin becomes more valuable, suddenly we are now trading thousands of a Bitcoin instead of hundreds of a Bitcoin, and that is the economic and philosophical argument for using a cryptocurrency. It also is more secure than normal currency. Like it's harder to commit fraud with it because it's part of the blockchain. Can't make fake cryptocurrency. It just won't work. So those are the arguments for cryptocurrency, and the arguments against using it are is it takes a shitload of energy to even maintain, and that's dumb. But that's a whole other thing. But the problem is that argument is destroyed because so many people who now have Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they want the government to make it official, like I believe El Salvador did. And because in doing so, it becomes a fiat currency and the value of it skyrockets. So everyone who owns crypto is incentivized to want the government to make it a fiat currency, which completely defeats the purpose of its existence in the first place.
All right, okay.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. It's dumb.
I didn't know
I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but not now.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were working towards making this an accepted currency by like an official state.
Some people aren't. Like it's like the housing market where like people who have houses, well, they want the government to stop people from building them, and people who don't have houses want the government to build more houses, and it's just conflicting interests.
Yeah, it's a weird catch-22 because I can get it would be good, like especially if you want to buy illegal stuff, it would be great to have a currency that wasn't government controlled. However, if you want this to be practical in any sense, it kind of needs to be government controlled. But then again, just use regular money at that point. And if it's going to be government controlled in the first place. But yeah, I was just very lost and confused by that, and I just never really got any interest in it. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't. It seems weird.
I hope my cryptocurrency for dummies spiel here was educational for some people.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that maybe this is all bullshit too. Like this is just what I have learned through osmosis from being around crypto people. And doing a little bit of research on it. I am by no means an expert and do not seek financial advice from one John Cooper. But that is my caveat here. Go ahead.
I thought of one more thing. I write it down real quick. I remember watching this video. You know Gary Vee? You ever see him?
I know Gary Vee.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen him in a while actually, but I remember him talking about the value of NFTs, and he gave this example where he said, so imagine you had like a Jackson Pollock or whatever painted something, and the painting itself has value, and obviously, but let's say you owned an NFT that was assigned to the paint buckets, and so you would have this NFT that was like you didn't need to have the actual paint bucket, but the NFT is assigned to that paint bucket. So that paint bucket is yours. And you can keep that NFT, and over the years, you can it'll accrue value and you can sell it. And that's the value of NFTs. And I was like, that's stupid. You could like just buy the paint bucket. Like what's the NFT there for? That was the example he gave. Like it was this brilliant thing. I said, I watched the video like 3 times. Like, no, he said the NFT is assigned to the paint bucket. It just seems like an unnecessary in-between step to the actual appreciating asset. And what you mentioned there about how, so like Bitcoins, they mine them. They have machines, like warehouses full of these machines that like crack these algorithms to unlock Bitcoins. But there's a fixed amount, like you said, that whatever number they have, there's not going to be any more. And which means that, the value of one Bitcoin is a lot more stable. And this is the problem. So this is the problem that the United States ended up running into. I remember reading about this for the 1800s, that before like the civil rights era, it's interesting to see what the dividing lines were between the political parties, because now it's mostly cultural stuff and a little economic stuff. But before, it's things that you would have never guessed would have divided the country. And there was this huge divide between hard and soft money in the 1800s. And it's exactly what you were talking about, is that a lot of people wanted hard money. So they said, okay, we want our money backed by gold and absolutely nothing else. So all the gold that the United States has in the reserve, that's how much money we have. And then you have people that said, well, we want it backed by hard money, but backed by gold and silver. And so it expanded the money supply, having 2 sources. And then you had people that said, that's ridiculous. We need soft money, because why would you put a cap on exactly how much money can circulate in the United States? Because that's gonna, now people can't borrow. People are gonna have a hard time investing. And yeah, it ended up falling apart because it is. I think it is kind of absurd to say that.
DJ, yeah. This is always my argument for it. What if a meteor full of $12 quadrillion worth of gold
Yes.
landed somewhere. Suddenly, all of our money is absolutely worthless.
Worthless, yeah. And and this is, I hear this all the time. I'm sure you see this all the time, where people say stuff that they think just sounds smart. It's just really, or it's like, yeah, we need to get back to the gold standard. No, the fuck we don't. That's insane. It's like, and I get why people say that, because gold is an actual object that you can count and you can actually measure.
It's such a Dunning-Kruger thing.
It is.
It's you're right there. You're thinking hard, bro, but you're really not thinking about anything else.
And it's kind of counterintuitive to accept, well, this dollar is worth $1 because the government says it is. I can see why that's uncomfortable to people. I can see why they're a little shaky by that. But like what gives the U.S. dollar a lot of power? One of the main reasons is like the petrodollar. That like Saudi Arabia, you have to buy their oil in U.S. dollars no matter who you are. So that gives the dollar a lot of power. And what really gives the power is that the United States government only, if you want to pay taxes to the government, they will only accept U.S. dollars. You cannot pay them in gold, silver, platinum, whatever. You can't. They will only accept dollars. So as long as the United States government exists, that dollar will have value. That's a lot more secure, because there's not going to be an asteroid dropping another United States on the on the planet. So yeah, it's actually more secure than people think. It just sounds insecure.
Yeah, and I always love to just think about how fucked we would be if we had kept the gold standard.
I know.
Like, if we were unable to expand the money supply, and like people hate that the government does this, and like I get the hate. Like I genuinely sympathize with your hate that the government has so much control over the economy. But do you know what's worse than that? No control over the economy. I would rather someone have control than to just have it be whatever, have it be the Wild West. And I circling this back, I think this kind of says a lot about why NFTs and blockchain and crypto kind of become popular at a more like basic, capitalist to communist economic spectrum level, because what these NFTs do is they create a scarcity on something that was previously infinite. And when a capitalist mindset person hears that, the money symbols just start spinning their eyes for Mr. Krabs. Because think about video games. I play a lot of video games. I've never been one to like buy cosmetics. I've never understood the point. But hey, a lot of people like that sort of thing. And if they like that sort of thing, more power to them. They want to go buy for a special skin for their Fortnite character, go ahead. I have no problem with that. But that's an infinite resource, and you can't commodify it afterwards, because you purchase a thing, you have it, you can't share it, you can't whatever. NFTs make that one unique item in the virtual world. So if you can wrap your mind around why someone would want a virtual item and pay money for it, like in a cosmetic in a video game, now you make that cosmetic a unique item that has a scarcity that can then be speculated upon. And suddenly everything in the digital space becomes an asset, becomes a piece of property, like land. There are literally like video games you can play on the blockchain that have like a specific amount of land that gets sold off and like you can build on it. And it's the dumbest thing in the world. But these plots of digital land go for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's really just people with that capitalist mindset convincing themselves that everyone else thinks this way.
Yeah.
And the problem is most people don't.
Yeah, nobody thinks that way. Yeah.
The ceiling is only so high. And every single time you hit that ceiling, the bubble comes crashing down. Maybe one day that won't be the case, but it certainly goddamn isn't.